Well, Andy and I just put up the last two joists, if you want to call them that, for the ceiling in the van, and I'm going to get to work on measuring where the lights are going to be so that we can drill out all the holes and the space for the fan and that sort of thing. I would really like to figure out how to frame in the upper part of the bed area so I can start putting some siding up. I definitely know there's going to be insulation because I had it up and it came down, but yeah, I'm realizing that of all the hundreds of videos I've watched, I haven't seen anybody really describe how to deal with this little angle piece here. And I've got my bed in front of it. I could fill it with something. I'm not really sure what. And one of the things I'm struggling with is that the van, obviously the van is not straight, but there are different depths here as far as the wall. Maybe you can see better right here. So this is inset a little bit from this, and this is inset from this, which is inset from this. We will on that side have cabinets above the horizontal piece there. On this side in the bed area, bedroom, I guess you want to call it, we will probably have a shelf here for books and doodads and things above the window. So what I want to do is take my framing, and I don't want to be all the way out here because I lose a couple of inches of headroom. I don't even really want to be here because again, I'd probably lose a good inch or so from the depth of where my insulation needs to be, which is about here. If I want my framing to just say, come to, yeah, right about there, which is the depth of this, I'm not sure how to anchor it down at the bottom, down here, because it's kind of floating, unless I had some way to actually screw in from behind and attach it to the back of this 2x4. So I'm gonna see if I can figure out something that I can put in there, whether it's a piece of wood that I glue and then screw down into with Craig pocket holes or what. So I thought I had a vision for how to do this, but clearly I need to do a little calculating to figure out how all of this is going to go together before I actually start cutting any wood, because I don't want to make a lot of just experimental cuts and then find out that none of them work and I've wasted all my wood. That would be silly, and I don't want to be silly. So I'll be back with you as soon as I figure out a solution for that funky little gap back there. Oh, but wait, there's one more challenge that I didn't mention, and that is on this side, on the driver's side, there is electrical running through here, and as you can see, all my electrical is not fully connected yet. So I don't want to cover those holes until the electrical is done, just in case I need to have access, unless I find some way to cover it and still maintain access. So yeah, I got a lot of head scratching to do. Okay, I think I might be on track for a solution. And that is first to take a piece of, these are 1x3s that I have for lots of 1x3s. So to go ahead and stand up a piece of wood here, and I can actually drill through the sides to attach it here, or I could glue it. And then take another piece of wood and mount it in here on the inside like that, as well as at the top right here. And I need to make it just a hair taller, but I'm going to leave a little bit of depth there, enough for the thickness of the siding that I'm using. I can have my first piece here and then move on down by the window and have another piece that goes right here just next to the window. My wiring is going to come out probably just on the other side, but and frame on two sides of the window, and then I'm also going to have a small piece that actually just fills this gap right here just for extra stability. So the paneling is going horizontally, so I don't really need a lot of horizontal bracing, just the vertical bracing, and then the paneling will come right up to the window. So I'm going to do a little bit more work on that, maybe do a mock-up and see how it comes out, and I will let you know. It's a new day, a rainy day. And I am up here test fitting my first little bracket that I made. It does fit in there, but I am not thrilled with a couple things. Number one, I still don't have an attachment point up here, which obviously could be a challenge. I could glue this right to the wall if it was flush, but it's not. And I really think I probably should have cut this curve here and if I'm gonna glue right here, these could actually be a little bit shorter so I don't have any squeaking where it rubs up against. So anyway, there's that. I do have it here, so I'm gaining 1/2 inch or so of extra depth, but I don't know if you can see here. Going from straight up here to down here, the wall is somewhat angled, and it's closer to the wall up here, I believe, than it is down here. It could be just an illusion, but I'm not sure that I want to lose that much space. I guess you really dramatically see it right here by the window, where the depth changes. So I'm not sure I like this plan. So even though my plan worked, this is just glued. I didn't screw it last night. I just glued it to test it. I'm not 100% sold that that's the right solution. So I'm going to think on it a bit this morning and then come back and maybe do some regrouping. And I feel like I'm a very good at complexifying and making things that should be simple much more complicated. And I have a feeling that maybe that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to see if I can come up with a more basic solution that's really going to actually address the challenges that I have here with the frame around the window and the depth and everything. I don't know, sometimes I just have to go back and rethink things, think outside of the box. I definitely slept on it last night. I woke up at 4 in the morning thinking about it, which is just the way I roll. So anyway, not 100% happy, but I hope I can get it figured out by the end of the day today and keep on rolling with getting the framing done, because I am anxious to get out of here on a little shakedown trip in, what's today, Tuesday, a week from now, and we've got some social commitments as well. So yeah, it's I just feel like time is not my friend with this project, unfortunately, and I shouldn't be pushing it as hard as I am, but I am. I am back from ruminating on this project on how to do the framing here. I went and had a coffee date with my daughter. We spent an hour or so shopping, and then I went to Lowe's and had a hopefully very successful shopping trip. And what I decided to do, I decided this before I left, but I had to make sure I could get the supplies. What I decided to do is to get some 1x2 and my existing 1x3 and make a shelf here. So the 1x2 will fit here, the 1x3 will fit like that, and basically make a little L-shaped bracket. And I will attach this through here with some plus nuts. Once this is done, I will be able to come in with the additional pieces and use the Craig here to attach them. Now, I'm not going to come all the way out this far. I'm going to be able to work with the depth that I want. This piece isn't long enough to really show you, but I can inset it a bit. So I'll have room for insulation, but it will also give me an extra inch or so of space horizontally across the van, which may not sound like a lot, but I know in a van that's only roughly 6 feet wide, if that, barely 6 feet wide, that's going to make a difference in terms of the space. There will be a seat down here, and then this is going to be pushed back a little bit, and then I'll have some shelving up here for books and charging station and things like that. So I think it'll just make it feel a little bit more open to be able to do this and then bump out as I need to for the shelving. So I'm going to do the same approach here with the bracket in the rear by the windows. Now the way this is going to impact what I've already done with the windows, as you can see, I'm going to have to cut this here so that I can screw it into this horizontal piece. But I think that will work out pretty well. I have spent the past couple hours measuring and cutting most of the wood for the horizontals and the furring strips, and well, I haven't cut them yet, but all the pieces that are going to hold the furring strips and the angle brackets that I was showing you earlier. I've got one set up here, just clamped together and drying, and then I'm going to actually screw it together in the morning. I just want to make sure it fits properly before I do that. So that one is going to go right up in there. And while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and drill out the holes that I need for my plus nuts. And I'm going to do 4 vertical pieces along here so that I can do 3 different lengths of siding. And this whole wall is going to get siding, even though we're going to have a bench along here in the front. I did decide not to do a bump out here, so I'm just going to have one continuous wall, which should look really pretty when we come in from the door, and then we can also use it for pictures and other things. And then up at the top we will have a little bit of a shelf. Well, it's time for me to wrap up for the day. I think I've been pretty productive. I've planned out pretty much how I'm going to do all of the furring strips over here and also behind me by the window so that I can get that started. And my goal tomorrow is to finish the framing so that I can start the siding, which I'm very excited about, but I do need to remember to put clear poly on that before I do that. So hopefully I won't forget that tomorrow. I'll have to make a note to myself. But yeah, it's been a pretty productive day. I just finished up doing some more plus nut holes on this panel right here, that little horizontal one, same thing on the other side, and then also over there at each level, so top, middle, and bottom. And I've primed those so tomorrow morning I can come out and put the plus nuts in and then put the boards up, so the horizontal boards. And then from there, it's hopefully smooth sailing because I'm going to be putting up the vertical boards and attaching them to wood, which should be a lot easier than trying to figure out how to attach wood to metal. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, it's been a good day, and I really appreciate you following along on this adventure with all its ups and downs. And if you're enjoying my videos, please do make sure to hit the button below to subscribe so you'll hear as new videos are announced, and then follow along when we actually hit the road to see all the places that we're going to see. So thanks again. Have a great day.